on behalf of Dr. Nousala and myself, I'd like to welcome you to our workshop, and we're going to have a workshop. So you're going to work. Okay, so this is on, and we'll talk too, can't get away from that. Building working communities, exploration, collaboration, creativity. So, somewhere. Okay, come on. Try it. Okay, so let's look and see what we will do to upper level students, recent graduates, professionals who are going back for training, for further education. And one thing we can do, certainly you'll see enough of it, come back and get your certificate in web development. Learn how to use PHP. And I'm picking old stuff because I don't know none of the new stuff. Okay, come back and find a workshop on UML, SysML. This package, that package, design, very good stuff. Case studies, everybody should know something about this. Do more, if you're in computer science, do more on computer science. If you're in physics, do more on physics. If you're in Bulgarian basket weaving, as one of my colleagues at school used to say, do more on, say, Romanian basket weaving. The other side says, well, I've talked to people who run startup firms, I've talked to people who are doing hiring, and they say, well, for the most part, people know the content. If they don't, we can train. They know the tools. If not, we're going to use a different version anyway, so we'll train them. And where people are weak is explaining what has gone on. In working together with people from other disciplines or bringing ideas in from other disciplines. In working in teams, in being creative, and seeing how to adapt things they've already done to new things. And in motivating themselves as learners of other areas. Please, sir, come in and sit in the middle if you would. Okay. So, the red and the green have been chosen deliberately. Think of traffic signs. Okay. And again, I'm not trying to denigrate learning any of the red stuff. You need it. But if you have all the red and none of the green, you're not going very far and you're not going very fast. So we're going to talk about a little bit. Okay, you have to learn your theory and practice. And again, software engineering, an area I know best, computer science. First couple of years, I'm going to study a lot of how to program, how to design a program. Then I'm going to deal with software engineering disciplines, dealing with the customer, communication with the customer. And if we're lucky, we'll get somebody local who has an enterprise to come in and describe something they want, and we'll listen very carefully, and we'll ask questions. We'll figure out what they need. We'll figure out how to change it into something the computer can do. We'll figure out how to test that. And we'll include the individual, the customer, going back and forth very early in a version of the Agile process. And then, at a third dimension, we need to learn how to talk to a customer who isn't prepared to talk to us. Right? And to users and to other stakeholders. We need to talk more about requirements we may never have understood and the customer may not have understood. Risk. And we're building a bit by a bit, and the more we build, the more we're relying on these softer skills. So skill sets: hard, firm, and soft. Creative input. We need sometimes not just to do things according to process, but to figure out when we have to step back and do things differently. We can keep trying to automate that, but it never works perfectly. And polydisciplinary interactions and crossover. Polydisciplinary, as Susu says, because multidisciplinary means everybody works together on the same project in their own area, and we hope things fit together. And interdisciplinary says we have everybody getting together and talk, and then they all go apart and do things that supposedly fit together. And the last one, cross-disciplinary, means we get people talking to build up tactics that work simultaneously. So we know what we're talking about. And now to bring up what we're trying to do today a little bit, we want to figure out how to make this process interesting and fun. And rewarding, interesting, and fun. So the thinking, rewarding is often exploration, variation on known patterns, pattern identification. And fun is pattern formation, creativity, spontaneity. Okay. Interaction, community, could be any level of community. Could be everybody in this room. Could be my software team. Could be a business. Could be a literal community out in the world. Community of learning, knowledge, practice. And I have both the building of the ordinary community, the relationships in the community, and the spontaneous, let's get together and do something. And the more you can make things rewarding and fun, and this is not saying anything deep, right? You want to make things boring and unrewarding, after a while people are not going to keep working on them. But rewarding and fun is what we're trying to do. So where do we go from here?
Right. Just to sort of elaborate a little bit on this, talking about communities are groups, and community kind of implies that you've been together doing something of interest together for a while. We also have working groups where people are thrown together because it's a project, so it's a linear process. So we're talking about communities, and that's a dynamic process. That's something that we all have to get together and do. How do we know what we're learning? Well, it's experiential. We have to exchange things. We have to experience one another. I can give you all the information in the world, but unless you've tried it yourself and gone through the process, you haven't done the inner learning process. All very sort of red light, green light, very straightforward, but is it that easy in everyday practice? Example. Policies are written by governments, and governance is not an easy thing to do. And we all talk about the difficulties of, for example, transferring policy of government into a community, which has got many different experiences and different expectations. Policy into practice is not an easy thing at all. Something's lost in translation. We know that policies have huge impacts on communities, and that also includes working environments. What goes wrong there? So this is something that's actually becoming more and more critical. For example, with engineering education, we understand there's an awful lot of things that need to be done in terms of engineering learning, knowing all the critical information, how a building stands up, how planes stay in the sky. But also, there is a whole system now, because of the complexity of the types of projects, we actually have to have an understanding of how those communities actually interact and engage. And there are some very big problems that occur, and are very well documented, lots of literature, but we're not going to go into that right now. You want to know what this is all about. Right, in groups of 6, I think we have enough for 6 groups, yes? So, what we will do, we will start and we'll sound off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right around the room. So if you're 1s, you're over there. If you're 2s, right, you got it? Okay, you're going to get moving, right? Starting 1. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty good. Excellent. So 1's over here, 2's there, 3's there, 4's there, 5's there, 6's here. Thank you. You got your spaghetti and everything?
Yeah.
Right, you got to go? You got spaghetti, marshmallows, everything, your plate? Right. Okay, here's the deal. You actually have to make this structure out of the spaghetti. It's got to be the highest. It has to be, well, aesthetically pleasing, and it has to be robust. You have exactly 25 minutes-ish to actually get together and design and build a structure the highest that you can with the material that you've got. Okay?
Can you break the spaghetti?
No, you can't do it. It's just whatever it is. There's no rules. That's it. Do whatever you want. It's the highest. But what you have, that's it. No more tape. No more spaghetti.
If you have something falls apart, you didn't plan. Let us know. Otherwise,
No,
we're stuck.
no, we don't. No. No, it is what it is.
Okay.
Unless your spaghetti actually snaps or it's faulty. Because it did come in my suitcase, so you never know. But alright, so time starts now.
Go.
Go! Make sure you've got some notes. So nominate a person and see a document this process.
Or just take the tape and wrap it around. Other than take the tape and wrap it around, just wrap it around. You stick the whole freaking thing. You got the whole tape.
Okay, they're going to continue just for like 2 more minutes or so. I think we've only got one here. Keeps going. Yes.
Optimize over here.
Right. Now, each of you have got the documentation person, right? Right? Everyone's got a documentation person. Now, just going over it briefly.
You the documentation person.
It's pretty interesting what the different processes and people who wanted to change the concept of what to do. For example, here we have the swinging. It's a mobile kind of situation. This one here is beautifully engineered. It's very stable, attached to the wall. And they also did a modification to actually make it part of the structure. We can discuss whether the tags actually constitute parts of the structure or not. It's a very interesting. It's part of the materials. There was no specifications as to whether that's acceptable or not. So we will discuss this. You can discuss this amongst yourselves. You're going to get a chance to do that. I would like these structures to be stable enough for after coffee. And we can all discuss each other's processes because we're going to give you a chance to do that. So, going around the room very quickly, here are some of the different types of things. Would anyone like to comment in the group very briefly how they came about that process? Go. Someone in the group. Just really briefly, yeah.
We one in trying to design our own we got together and we agreed that we need a tripod source stability. So we agreed, and then we needed the legs of the fixed stands to be supported.
Okay, so
Supported the leg. Okay.
yeah, no, I was just going to say this is so you went right into a technical kind of solution immediately.
No, is it one person took? We discussed.
Yes, you discussed it.
Yes, the process of trying to ask ourselves how do we come up with a structure that will still be tall and be stable and that has some, real life application.
Yes.
Like we've looked at something like this that we use for masts, building masts. And then asked us.
Okay, that's a very interesting
Those are some of
point.
the things we done, and then we started with 3, and then we told them how we can also support them to build it up.
That's the spaghetti. That's the material. It's the material of spaghetti. In a really humid climate, the spaghetti tends to kind of go much more quickly. It's interesting. Thank you so much for that. So, briefly, just really quickly, like, how did you get around the process? What did you do? Guys,
Marble of.
yeah. And so, but the process in terms of discussing how to put works to grow the
Don't fix it.
Requirements driven.
This one was requirements driven, actually. It's a really requirements driven group. That's fantastic. Okay, thank you.
Hi. The first thing we did was we thought, well, maybe we should do some research. Somebody had a great suggestion. Let's Google it. But that just didn't feel like keeping with the spirit of the thing.
By the way, we could have done it.
So we could have, sure, but it just didn't feel right, you know. So we didn't do that, and we decided to define, make some preliminary definitions. What is structure? Is it freestanding, and we opted for that. And then we were using our sticks lengthwise. We thought, you know what, in chess, we often make a sacrifice. Sometimes we'll sacrifice a rook to get a checkmate, right? Or sack a rook for a queen. So we sacked. We decided to reduce the height of our base to increase the structure. And then we went all along, we're building, and then somebody had a really, Raphael had a great idea, let's invert it. So it was a huge hiccup, seeming to interrupt our flow of creativity.
Okay.
But it ended up being great. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. And thank you for the little sort of, teamwork there, the explanation of the pointing. Very nice. Nice touch. I like it very much. Okay, well done.
But a lot of it had to do, I think, with the theory in terms of things like center of gravity.
Gravity, yeah, that's fun.
all the standard stuff, which the optimum and stuff like that. Obviously, when you look at the Eiffel Tower, that's pretty much the optimal model, something like that. Radio towers, they're mainly secured to the earth. So you go with all the theoretical engineering considerations.
So engineering off.
Yeah, and just then build it down and according to specs. That's what it is. Obviously, I wouldn't build it like this. But then the other thing too, then who says that you would have to have them end to end? You could slide them back and forth till you get the optimal. So
Okay, so it was really kind of like a trial and error.
some of it, yeah, but also keeping in mind.
It's a compromise.
Yeah.
Ideas and gravity and
All that good theoretical, physical stuff.
some of us they're really moving. Just goes by height.
Height. Okay.
We haven't done one of these things in years, so we're out of practice.
We are having 2 parameters. That's what similarly simultaneously we have to maintain 2 parameters. One is stability, second one is height.
Yes.
If we are compromising one parameter, then other parameter gets
Put the
affected.
neutral there.
Yes.
So we have to make a stability among both the parameters so that we can get the best as well as better stable structure.
That's right.
So the thing is that just
You need more time to explore it.
Yes, but that's why it's limited. That's why it's limited. And we'll go through each of this process. This is.
just a minute.
Yes,
As far as
just one
one more.
Yeah.
As far as the technical aspect is concerned, inside any building, if there is no strong base, it is unable. So the thing is that the dire consideration should be given towards the base. And the thing is that as far as technical point are concerned, if base is having, I would say less thrust force inside, then it will.
Okay.
But that's all true. What the hell do they do?
Yes. That is not stable. That is not stable.
Okay, so here we have an interesting dynamics going on. I want you to observe this for all of your observations because it's very important. Please, somebody? Yep.
Right here we have the Tower of Medical Informatics and Engineering. And as you can see, it may not be the tallest. I guess you guys haven't measured yet, but it's the most stable, we would debate. And looks the nicest.
And it's aesthetically pleasing. I'm not sure if they were aiming for this.
I think it looks pretty damn nice if you ask me.
Okay, this.
All in the beholder's
Okay,
eye.
so the first thing we did, we started with a tripod model, But then my question was, what were the exact directions? And the directions weren't the tallest, it was the highest. And that's the highest. That's what the directions were, and you had to use all the material. And I clarified that with our speaker, and she said I was correct. So she said, let's make it as tall as we can. We got a big chair from the lobby, and we stuck it at the highest point that we could reach because it's not that tall. So if we had something taller,
spaghetti, you could just use the tape.
the tape is part of the structure.
Okay.
So you've each got an understanding, very quickly, a snapshot of just a room full of people doing a simple exercise. Yes, it was fun, but this actually has some really serious implications about community and multidisciplinarity and sharing. I really love the dynamics of this group. It was hilarious. I mean, it's like each group had like someone to talk, but these guys, you're fantastic. You had 3 or 4 people giving the opinions. It's very important to kind of understand these different dynamics and how quickly the different types of dynamics and siloing occur. Okay.
I think one last thing is to say that we heard different criteria come up around the room, and every one of them is a criteria that should be addressed.
That's right.
So what I did
And which one
in
did you hear?
the sixth
Which one? I can be here.
elephant
The coffee break.
actually is not a terrible thing. It's revealing a lot of different facets of actual important ways of thinking of projects. And of course, it's one of the reasons why interdisciplinarity and culture are so important.
Like the really good example here is they decided to have a freestanding structure. That's what they wanted and that's what they aimed for. Okay, so that it fitted within the parameters and that, but it was important. It was a decision that was, clearly made, as opposed to the highest or the tallest. Okay, great.
Okay, so what
Moving
we're
right along.
moving along, one of the issues in
Okay, guys.
one of the issues, as we already saw in this last project, in successful projects is getting creativity, spontaneity, willingness to be wrong, willingness to change, willingness to be self-confident, not to feel self-conscious, comfort, trust. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is to stand up out of your chairs and we will push that chair in.
Standing.
Okay, and what we're going to do is a very little bit of,
Maybe around the middle.
and yeah, everybody can walk just all around the table. We're
Yeah,
going to do a little
46.
bit of improvisational warm-up. So I'd like everybody to walk around this way, around clockwise on the inside, counterclockwise on the outside, and just start walking on these directions. Follow the leader, circular. Okay. Just keep going.
Forward.
Okay, now, listen. All right, one of the senses that often isn't addressed in improvisation is the sense of balance and gravity. So I want everyone to imagine you are on a planet with much lighter gravity. All of a sudden you are moving much more gracefully, much less pressure from gravity. I don't care, be as silly as you like. It is perfectly happy. I'm standing up here being silly. There's no reason you can't be either.
Yeah, really?
All right, things have changed. Now you're on Jupiter. Everything is dragging you down. You're going to go so slowly. You're going to have to make an effort to move every smell. This is one of your favorite smells coming out of your back on Earth. Sense memory. You're thinking of something that you really, really love. Let's make it food for most of you. You hate food, it doesn't have to be. And it's just lovely. You want to go there and eat it. It feels so good. It's been so long since you. Oh, wait a minute, there's another smell. Not really what you want at all.
The dog.
I had this at one point. I was riding the train that went past a bakery and then past a place where they were making toilet bowl sanitizers. So you'd open up your nose and all of a sudden. Okay, and now, okay, you spot someone in the distance, somebody you know. By the way, it's really interesting. When you know someone, that you see somebody in the distance, you know, everyone, in almost every culture, your eyebrows go up exactly. Exactly. It's amazing. Okay, wait, hold it, you're late for the next part. You've got to go back to the seat.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Oh, which way? Go the other way.
Just a quick sense of
Very cool.
sense memories, body sense, starting to feel a little less self-conscious because everyone else around is also acting like a stiff relaxing, and a lot of companies, a lot of places will actually do some similar exercise to get people relaxed enough to be unself-conscious, to participate, not to feel physically. So, did anybody, in spite of the fact that I've already talked a lot, anybody have any observations on how you felt, what you did, anything? If you don't have any now, please feel free to write them down. In fact, Susu, you can take over.
Yeah, just for this last part before the coffee break, I promise we won't hold up too much for the coffee break. Yeah, I'm sure you're ready for coffee. But that last exercise and the difference between the two, it's actually quite critical that you allow people to change the pace of what they're doing. It actually allows people to think and actually can get you out of feeling like the different types of problems that you're having. It's a change of perspective. It's a change of speed, perspective, dynamics. This can often be something that can unlock something that's actually just not working properly.
It can also break a lot of emotional tension or
emotional tension.
hierarchical tension.
And also with group dynamics and, for example, it's got real live applications in terms of something as serious as engineering, for example, where you've got teams that have been working together for a long time. New team members come in, how do you integrate that? There's a problem with that. So you've got to be able to find different ways where everybody has to get somehow on the same page and be able to transfer that. You may not want to, it actually might be quite fun to get a bunch of engineers going around the room feeling that you go, different types of gravity, but you understand the different perspectives. This material that's been handed out now is for you to actually document now the different types of things, the ideas, and some key words actually. Just like a whole lot of keywords of what you've been going through for the last hour. And we'll leave them on the table because we will be referring to those. There is a real reason for this. We want to actually collect some ideas, and we may be opening up some possibility of getting together and putting together a paper and working on these different ideas and expanding it over a period of time. So this is just the first part of it, and snapshotting, real quick snapshots of what you've been thinking, anything at all. You can draw it, you can make models out of paper if you wish. It's whatever, how you wish to put these ideas forward. Okay, so we've got a little bit of time before the coffee.
One more thing that I'd like you to think about, and if you want to do both, you can draw a line and do one above, one below, is where do you see opportunities in your own area to use this type of creativity or cross-disciplinary interaction? Where would you suggest that one could focus on? Just write those down again, put them on the Post-its, or whatever you want. Again, pictures are fine, anything you like, and put them on your paper, and we'll collect the papers. This worked very well, by the way, at a workshop I was at last year. And this is just, please, let your mind roll.
Get back into creative.
And if nothing is silly, nothing is wrong.